Hello, everyone watching and listening, and you are tuned into another edition of Inspired By. And I always leave the blank space because you never know who's going to be on the show. And today, woo! We no pun intended, but we are doing it big.
Big. Let's go. Let's go.
Pastor Mike Jr.
What's up, bro? I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be a part of Inspired By. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart, man. I think what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal. It's necessary, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yo, man, that means a lot for real. And I just want to get right to it because, you know, following you online, seeing what you're doing, I get more inspired by you for real outside of music. Music is dope, but I'm checking Pastor Mike's page to see what did he preach Sunday. I'm on your TikTok like, yo, what's the next clip?
Hey, that's crazy.
And I just see you constantly. It seems like the core of everything you do is to encourage and push the next person, whether it's a tweet, a TikTok, IG post. And I just want to know, like, how, like, you push that, but how do you practice what you preach?
And I think it's Howard Thurman said, don't ask what the world needs, but rather ask what makes you come alive and do that. For what the world needs are people who have come alive. So for me, I come alive, encouraging and empowering. I think I'm a natural born. I'm a natural born resurrector. Hang around me long enough, something's gonna get resurrected. You know, hang around me long enough, the dream you thought was dead gonna come back, or the idea that people told you would never work, you're gonna get a fire for it. So for me, practicing it is so easy because it's who I naturally am. So many people fail because they died mimicking something they were impressed by versus living something they were authentically called to do.
Wait a minute.
Let's go, bro. We here.
Can I hit the rewind button and you run that back one more?
Most people die miserable because they're trying to mimic what they were impressed by versus being authentically who they're called to be. If you be on social media long enough, if you're a pastor, you're going to be looking at me and Mike Todd or Darius Daniels. If you're a singer, you're looking at Todd Delaney or Kirk Franklin, James Fortune. If you're a chef, you're looking at so a lot of times, whatever field you feel called to, you find inspiration from people online. But if you're not careful, you will begin to mimic what they're doing versus walking in what you are authentically called to do. And that's why I'm so impressed by what you're doing, bro, because you're in Columbus, if I'm not mistaken. And in Columbus, you know, if you're not careful, you're going to be busy looking at what they're doing in Atlanta and be like, dang, man, I need green screens. I need camera crews. I need so-and-so. No, take your laptop, take what you're doing, grow it, and watch what God does with what you are authentically called to do, man.
This is the first question, Pastor. Let's go. Yo, oh man, okay. So, you know, a lot of us in the public eye outside of your local community will think that you just popped on the scene in 2019 with the, you know, you have the 2 books, you got 3 campuses that you're pastoring, we know the music. Like, how has your journey gotten to where we know Pastor Mike right now?
See, here's what's crazy. I love when people say, man, he just came out of nowhere.
No.
It took me 12 years to be an overnight success. You know,
yeah.
I've always wanted to do music, but I clearly heard God say, love God, love your family, love your city, and the world will come looking for you. And for the last 10 years, I've been in my hole called Birmingham, just loving my city, you know, giving away $1 million worth of medical debt relief, hundreds of $1,000s in outreach, saving thousands of souls. And I would sit at home, Stowe, and be like, dang, man, I know I got what it takes. But I heard God say, just love your city. And lo and behold, man, one of the top radio promoters in the country happened to come to my church, happened to fall in love with the girl at my church, happened to get marriage counseling from me. And when we went downstairs at my house, he was like, "You got a studio?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Why you got a studio?" I said, "Well, that's my stress reliever. You know, my therapist said to me a couple years back, how do you wash or rinse?"
Yeah.
I said, "Well, I like music." So I went and bought my own home studio and figured out how to do it. I played I Got It for him, and he said, "Whoa." I played Big for him. He pressed spacebar and literally said out his mouth, "That's the #1 song in the world." And I looked at him and was like, "Nah, I just something I'm gonna play for my church members." He said, "If you trust me, your life will never be the same, man." And that was in 2019. You know, that was February 2019 that happened. You know, and by February 2020, Big is the #1 song in the country. And God has just been showing out ever since, bro.
Yeah. You said that you were a 12-year
Overnight success.
success.
Yeah, 12 years. Believe it or not, it's probably more like 16 years. I dropped my first EP at my dad's church when I was probably 20. You know how that is. I printed up like 50 copies. I went platinum. You know how that is. You print out 50, you can go church platinum real quick. I printed out like 100 copies. And after church, I stood outside and signed all my CDs and I sold out. My mama handed me like $300. Like, boy, you had a good day. You know, but and I think everybody has to understand that, man. My route isn't everybody's route. You know, that's why this Friday, shameless plug, I'm dropping a single entitled Grateful, kind of celebrating 7 nominations, and it's a freestyle. You know, and in the first line, I'll be like, "Long nights turn to early mornings. I hate to see you leave, but we done mourning. I done been through so much pain that it feel normal. Now it's hard to celebrate because I'm used to karma." You know, because in the industry, a lot of times, how many times did they tell you, Stowe, "Man, we got something we gonna do with you." Then 6 months pass by, or man, we probably gonna give you a show. Then a year pass by. You know, so you just have to stay faithful and stay diligent, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and avoid. I know it's a hypothetical question, but I almost answered. But people watching. But no, it's true. Like I remember, breaking into broadcasting and media. Like when I got done with school, I didn't know like what was next, and what I was going for. Like and not to she wasn't like trying to shame me, but like even my mom was like, "Well, maybe you should start, looking over here and doing this." And I'm like, "Nah, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. I just gotta grind that out."
And see, people think, and I had to tell somebody the other day, your mom isn't hating; she just loves you.
Yep.
And see, that's what you got to realize. Like, man, your mom not hate you. Because I never forget, I had people, even my wife one time was like, "Baby, I just don't want you to get your hopes up, and then people let you down." It's not that they're hating; they love you, and because they love you, they try to protect you. But what they don't understand is that the pain is a part of the process.
Yeah, come on.
So man, I need the failures. I never forget when I dropped Blessed years and years ago. You couldn't tell me Blessed wasn't about to be. I was gonna be opening for Drake.
Right.
Like he's gonna be like, "Pastor Mike, there's a blessing out there with my name on it." Yeah. And that joint didn't go nowhere. Or when we dropped Great God, or when we dropped Working from what's that song entitled? Oh My God, with my worship leader, man. Because I have been helping people's music careers from behind the scenes for years. Like giving people money to do projects, live concerts, everything. And lo and behold, Big hit the scene. And here's some behind the scene. I didn't even want Big to be my first single. I wanted Got It to be my first single.
Yeah.
And Carrie looked at me. He was like, "Hear me. This is bigger than a song." And lo and behold, man, it was so prophetic. And 10 weeks #1, man. That's crazy, right? 10 weeks #1, over 12 million streams later. Man, God is still just showing out.
Yeah, and you don't know this since we just met, but last year is when I came back to Radio One, and that's when like Big just got on, got in regular rotation, and I'm like, "Yo, what and who is this?" First of all, and then when it started picking up, and I got the invite to the Stellars, like probably like 6 weeks leading up to COVID cancellation.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to the Stellars to see Pastor Mike. Yo, call Pastor Mike and tell him I'm coming. And I said that every time, I talked about this song. But now, like, we hear, and you're coming off of, even though it's a 16-year process, you're still a new artist winner. And now you've gone, and now this year you're nominated for 7.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's So here's my to any independent artist watching. I'm gonna give you something very grimy, raw, and real.
Yes.
I understand I probably don't have a chance of winning any of these awards. The fan bases are too big, their followings are too big. They've been doing it for years. All right. But as an independent artist, my strategy is to always be in the conversation. And I think a lot of times we fail to shoot our shot because we're scared of missing. I hope you catch this. For years, they called LeBron James a disappointment, but they called him a disappointment from home. He would get to the finals and lose, and they would say, oh, he's not Jordan, but they're home.
Yeah.
So my mindset would be, I'm going to lose on a level you can't even win at.
Yeah. Wow.
I want to lose better than you win.
Yeah.
Did you catch that? So Stowe, so you sitting at home with nothing. I lost better than you won.
Man.
So for me, I'm so humbled, man, because every new artist, I did the research, a lot of the new artists for the last 7 to 8 years, they would win new artists. Then you wouldn't really hear from them again.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, nah, we keeping our foot on the gas, man. And hear me when I tell you, I want to take a hip hop mindset and bring it to gospel. In hip hop, they got a strategy called feed the streets. When they get music, they drop it. So we're dropping the Grateful song this Friday. We're dropping Singles Ministry, a new project I'm working on geared towards single life in July. I'm dropping another project, I think, in December. We're coming up with another gospel album the 1st of 2022. We finna really put our foot on the gas, man. And again, for the base that loves me, we're going to give you all the music we can and continue to try to grow our brand.
Man, like, when you talk about losing from a position where you can't even win, I think, that is true in the faith as well.
Yeah.
We give, Thomas, a bad rap for being doubting Thomas. But he doubted and still touched the wounds.
Yeah.
Like you heard about me doubting, or you was at home when I was doubting, or when we get on Peter for, he didn't keep his focus on Jesus. That's why he slipped into the water.
But he still got out the boat.
Bro, there was 11 other people on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. He lost in the position that, man, okay. Keep it going. I'll keep it going. So you talked about, the hip hop mindset, and that really leads me to this right here. And I need your help, because in the hip hop world, they say every rapper's not a street dude and every street dude's not a rapper.
Okay.
And so in the gospel world, how can we help people understand that every pastor is not a singer and every singer is not a pastor? You do both, and you do both great. But how can we help people stay where they're assigned?
I think we have to redefine what pastor is.
Okay.
Pastor means the careful attention to. Okay. So on my staff, I probably have 15 pastors.
Okay.
So I think a lot of times when we think pastor, we think platform and stage.
Yep.
When you can pastor from where you are.
Yes.
And I think you got to stay true to yourself. Like, I feel like I personally don't feel like I'm a pastor trying to do music. I feel like I am who I am.
Yeah.
I feel like if everybody stay true to who they are and don't chase money. So a lot of times you have a lot of artists who do churches because their gigs dry up. So church becomes a financial decision. Or you have pastors who like music but then have a huge following who decide, if my members buy it, I can sell some songs. I think you just got to stay true to who you are, man. I'm finna go into a new series. I haven't even told my church this. First Sunday in June called Be You. Be you, man. To be is an all end act. To be means you survive the process. And I believe if all of us can find our authentic self and just do you, the world will be a better place.
Yeah. Yeah. But doing you, and like you said, understanding the definition behind what the role you're trying to fill.
Yeah.
When we say pastor, we automatically think someone that owns a church and that gets up on the platform every Sunday and delivers a word to a group of people.
Yeah.
It's like, what about that Sunday school class? What about the usher meetings? What about the youth church? Like, those are the music ministry at church, the media ministry at church. Like, those are leadership and pastor roles as well. So I think,
And see, I think God has to raise up more leaders who aren't selfish.
yeah,
Like I got a couple pastors on stage. James Fortune is my worship pastor. I have 4 worship pastors. And it's giving everybody room to flourish in their gift.
yeah.
So yeah, I think if we all understood our assignment a little better, we can all be more effective. Because I believe God is destroying competition and birthing collaboration.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And, and with you and James Fortune, y'all just did that praise and worship with a purpose. Well, that's what I called it.
Yeah.
And, man, that was live. What was that experience like?
Oh, man, we have so much fun, man. Like, literally, I called James. I was like, hey, let's do another Sunday service type feel. So, like, cool. So we met up Monday with Rod, our musical director
Yeah.
at the church. And I was sitting around. I said, what if we just did, like, someone asked the question, when will it end? Another mother's crying. We're protesting. I scream. He's like, woo. He's like, no. You need to say, one verdict won't keep us quiet. I was like, yeah. So we literally came up with that whole set in probably 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we taught it to the choir, recorded it, then we performed it. So it was an incredible opportunity. I love being able to do music and
Man, that because like the clips from it, I'm like, yo, did I miss the invite? Like, I would have loved to have been at something like this.
Yeah.
That was huge, and not only, I just think you do a real good job of bringing God the glory and still expressing your leadership and holding up your responsibility as a leader of the community.
Yeah.
And, and I think, I've talked to a lot of people through, what we've gone through. And I think the church has a responsibility in all of this. And in a lot of areas, the church has been almost too quiet or too comfortable. But it's folks like yourself that I see that are unapologetic. That's, sometimes like, okay, we got to put, the church stage and Bible down and talk to people.
Yeah.
So James Fortune is one legend, but I'm not going to let you get away with teasing us with that picture of you and Kirk Franklin sitting in a studio environment, and you just said, "Oh, stay tuned." Like, what? You can't just leave this here.
No, so let me tell you. So I got the awesome opportunity to go hang with Kirk Franklin, man, and literally, we didn't do any music. We're not collaborating on anything. That's why I posted in the caption, "Thank you, Tammy and Kirk Franklin, for all you did." Because I just got a chance to see who they were as a person.
Yeah.
Man. So we don't have any music coming out. We're not collaborating on nothing. It was just one of those opportunities to just hang and talk God and talk family and talk life and talk music. So man, he's a legend. And when every chance I get a chance to sit around him, I do my best to do it, man. So no music, no nothing. Hopefully one day, but I won't lie. No nothing.
Okay, because I was like, yo, hold up.
Hey, that would be crazy though, right?
Man.
That would be crazy. Thank you, him, Kurt, PMJ.
Because it was good to see, and it didn't surprise me. I'm like, oh, because I know you got it, so I'm like, Kurt got to see it. Like now, what are they going to do together, man?
That would be. Hey, we might have to get a petition signed saying a Kurt Franklin, Pastor Mike Jr. collab.
Yeah, I'll start it like the first signature. Like that. That would be crazy. But you said you talked about your song that you're releasing, "Grateful." So, are we going to be witnessing another #1 in the making?
This is more of a passion song. I don't think so, personally.
Well, you didn't think big either, so
yeah, it's more of a, and it's me rapping the whole time too. So you know how that is. I think it's just a passion project, something I want to release to say, hey, thank you guys for voting for me. It's on that Drake field, man. So we'll see. It drops Friday.
That's what's up. So before I let you go, there's one thing I got to have you do for me. So I just need you to repeat this sentence and fill in the blank with as many words as you want to. So my name is Pastor Mike Jr. and I'm inspired by blank.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Pastor Mike Jr., and I'm inspired by all of those who keep fighting when life tells you to stop. All of you who dream when your finances and your reality says otherwise. I am inspired by all of you who have $1 million dream on $100 budget. I want to encourage you to keep the faith and keep dreaming. There was a man on the 10th floor of a building that was on fire. He looked out the window and they yelled, jump. Floors 1 through 9 were engulfed in flames. That man eventually died because, like so many people, he was afraid of the problem, which was the fire, and jumping, which is the solution. I would like to inspire you with my boy Stowe by telling you this is your season to jump. Dream. And I believe when you dream, God will catch you. I'm Pastor Mike Jr., and I believe it's coming for you. It's gonna be.
Yo, is there anything else that you want to tell us that we ain't touch on, what we need to look out for?
That's everything, man. Get ready. You can do me a favor, follow me on all social media outlets at Pastor Mike Jr. and text Live Big to 28950. Live Big to 28950.